What's going on? What's going on? Hi, you know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. I'm your gracious host, A6. We are live and direct, live in effect on this Sunday. Pretty humid and stuffy out here on the East Coast, man. I don't know how it is where you at, but dude, all week has been punishment. Like it's been hard to damn breathe outside, dude. It's crazy. They call it a heat wave, but I just call it plain old uncomfortable. You know, the heat here is like they said it feels like 103. I think Wednesday or Thursday they said it was supposed to be like 103, but I'm telling you, felt hotter than that, man. Because once the heat comes down, it don't leave. It just stays amongst the damn uh, moisture in the air, and it's a mess. Very hard to deal with. Very hard to deal with. We got live here. What up, Civic Maker? What's good with you, man? Prof man, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's good? Joel, what's good, man? Good to see you here, bro. Yes, sir. Man, I've been doing some reading this weekend, bro, and some studying and some more reading. Um, some of which the things that I'm going over and starting to learn, I cannot disclose publicly. A lot of the information I'm finding was pulled from the internet, so it's not even available online anymore. A lot of stuff got scrubbed off the internet. You talk to the guys who've been doing this since like 2004. They said it was a lot of court cases and a lot of acts and things like that that are in support of the stuff we talk about and back it up in black and white that were pulled and scrubbed from the internet. You can't find them no more. So, yeah, I got a lot of that's. I read some of that stuff too. It's very interesting. So I can't discuss publicly. But if you want a private consultation, you can hit me up regarding things like discharge and debt, negotiable instruments, and all that stuff. But yes, sir, it is. He said New Jersey's the same hot as sticky. It's dude, it's crazy. And on top of it, my allergies bothering me too. It's a little annoying. All right, let's get into it. I got a whole bunch of information to share with you guys. You guys better grab your pen and paper today. This is going to be a we're going to take some notes today. Now it's not going to be too heavy, but I got some stuff for you guys, and I want you to be aware of what I'm teaching you guys. All right, first let's get the other things out of the way. Some things I stumbled upon this week, and we can discuss that. Now, this right here, I happened to see. I think this was Monday. I saw this. Now, I was a little surprised that they actually talked about this on the news. Now, take a look at this right here. Now, I didn't see this live when it came out, but this is a coverage of the issue or topic at hand.
Why don't we start with what MSG is? It's monosodium glutamate. It is a neurotoxin. What is a neurotoxin?
A neurotoxin is a substance that will stimulate brain cells to the point of killing them. When applied enough to receptors, the neurons die.
While they're doing that, they cause headaches, migraines, learning disabilities, Lou Gehrig's disease, list goes on and on. So why is this in food?
Because the industry that sells it makes a lot of money from the product. If you have a product that has some MSG in it, your product is going to be more flavorful.
And they've gone to great lengths to hide that. I found MSG hidden among many different labels. Can you give us some of the things that they use to hide MSG?
Hydrolyzed protein products.
Okay.
So you'll see hydrolyzed pea protein or hydrolyzed corn protein, hydrolyzed whey proteins, autolyzed yeast, yeast extract, sodium caseinate, maltodextrin.
Some of these foods, I mean, live with them every single day, and they have horrible things in them hidden on the label.
All right, so there you have it. They're talking about MSGs. You heard this conversation back and forth, all these different abbreviations. What do they mean, man? MSGs and GMOs and all this other stuff. And pretty much, basically, for those who aren't aware, this stuff is pretty much man-made and it's not good for you. If you look at the back of a bag of Doritos or anything like that, Chips Ahoy, any of those candies and stuff like that. That's why this stuff is very harmful for you to be eating a lot. I usually say if you want to basically have a crap meal, you might want to do that like once a week if you can't cut it out completely, because that stuff is terrible for you. And just imagine children eating this stuff, man. Children eating things like Utz potato chips, Lay's potato chips, Snickers or whatever those other candies are, and they have all these different ingredients in them that hinder learning ability. And what it basically does is it's being a neuro. They said it was a neurotoxin, I think, right? Being something that neuro, you know what that means, affects the mind. It's something that will affect the way the mind develops and reacts to certain situations. So you got some children that are trying to learn and trying to be prosperous, but they're eating crap at home. And this is another reason why we say the diet is very important, because if you're not eating the right things, it's going to hinder what you do on a day-to-day basis. You might not be able to retain as much information. Like you might have a child that has a diet that's completely different, which if you look at certain cultures, like if you look at the a lot of the Middle Eastern cultures that are brought over here to America, a lot of the Asian cultures, and it's different ones and variants. They're very strict on what their children eat. I remember we used to have this dude down the road, and he was when I was growing up, and he was in a Middle Eastern. I'm not sure. I think he might have been from Pakistan. But dude, his parents never let them go outside. It was him and his brother, his little brother, and his parents never let them go outside. They never packed them any like junk food or nothing like that, and they would never take food when we offered it to them. We always thought it was weird. But then you look at these kids' grades, they got straight A's effortlessly. You know what I mean? They graduated at the top of their class. You know, they're able to get through college and stuff like that in the breeze. They become doctors, lawyers, and all that other stuff. And it just makes you wonder as what is the difference? It's not a genetic thing. I think it's cultural. The diet plays a big factor in things like that, man. You know, if you don't have as much energy or something, you're eating crappy foods all the time. You know, every day is fast food or is chips or it's candies or something like that. It's always going to be something that affects the way you perform everywhere. You know what I mean? In all spectrums of the meaning. But yeah, that's diet is important, man. And this is the reason I tell people, don't have your children eating all this garbage because it will come back to backfire. You see them not being able to ascertain information as quickly, struggling to grasp simple concepts, falling behind on their work. Math can be a challenge and some numbers start to look like they're backwards and stuff like that. I strictly believe this is not a birth defect, man. This is from dieting. In the culture, American culture, this is why a lot of Americans are over obese, overweight, and fat. It's because the culture of American eating and things like that is to indulge and enjoy. I mean, you can look around, it's hard to find somewhere healthy to eat at. You might look around, go down one road, and there might be a bunch of trash food, and then you go in a whole nother community, and the food's Whole Foods. You know what I mean? Like these different places you can go eat that are healthier, whereas certain areas it might be the other way around. So yes, indeed, man. MSGs and GMOs, man. It's best to try to grow your own stuff. If you can't, try to make sure you know what to look for. When you guys are out there looking for fruits and vegetables, look for the number 9. If the number 9 appears on your fruits or veggies on the label, that means it's an organic piece of food or fruit or whatever it is. It's organic, and that means it's 100% from the earth. Yeah, make sure you wash it off though. Wash it off from any pesticides or other crap that's sprayed on it because they still spray it with stuff. You know what I mean? And a lot of people say they bite into an apple. "Oh, I'm allergic to apples. Apples make my lips swell up." You're not allergic to apples. You're allergic to the crap they spray on them. And a lot of those apples actually have wax on them. I didn't even know this until oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, I didn't even notice till I got older. I was like, yo, I was talking to this one lady. She was like, apples have wax on them. I was like, what? Yeah, they have like a layer of wax on them to keep them from decaying, or to keep them on the shelf a little longer, so that they can get money and not have to worry about throwing away rotten fruits. And dude, I literally took a look at like a red apple and an orange, not even red, but a orange and a green apple, and you can actually see the wax film. It's on the outside of the apple. It's insane. Yes, sir. Bro, food is so important. They took fried food out of 2 prisons for a month, and the incidence of violence dropped by 45%. Wow, what was this at? They reintroduced it after the study was over and the violence returned. Get out of here. That's crazy. What prison was this at, Prof? I didn't hear about that research, but I would love to learn about it, man, because that's interesting. The crazy thing about fried foods is that's part of a cultural thing, because look at how you can look at how indigenous, aboriginal, African American, whatever you want to call them, you can look at how we eat with our culture. Like, yo, fried chicken, fried fish, you know what I mean? Everything is fried. And this, don't get it twisted, it's delicious, but it's stupid unhealthy. And the rule of thumb usually is with stuff like that, the better it tastes, the worse it is for you. Unfortunately. You know what I mean? Like soul food is one of my that's one of my vices, but you gotta moderation, man. I'm telling you. You do not want to kill yourself eating. Overeating. All right, let's move on, shall we? All right, now I know you guys heard about this right here. There's a actual glass dome city in Saudi Arabia. They're planning to launch that will hold 9 million people. And this goes back to the electric city we discussed. Now take a look at this.
Saudi Arabia has just shocked the world by releasing the first look at their upcoming city called The Line. They are quite literally in the works of creating an entire city which is stacked 500 meters high, making it taller than the Empire State, stretching it out a staggering 170 kilometers in length, which for perspective would take the average human over 40 hours to walk, and then housing all of that in a mirrored glass wall. This linear city will eventually be home to a whopping 9 million residents, and the suburbs are essentially segments along this line, which, this is the crazy part, are organized in 3 dimensions. And because of that added third dimension, depth, everything you need in your daily life, such as your home, work, schools, shopping, are all within these 5-minute walk neighborhoods. And if you want to go visit Matey down the line, all of their services will operate with AI and run autonomously, making it possible to travel from one side all the way to the other in just 20 minutes. And because there will be no need for cars, the city will have 0 carbon emissions, and their energy and water supplies will be 100% renewable. In fact, they are so confident in their design, they had the audacity to create a model of what New York would look like if they adopted the same infrastructure as the line. They've also strategically located this city so that 40% of the world can travel there in just a 6-hour flight, and is surrounded by both the ocean and mountains, giving the residents immediate access to nature. And just to make things even crazier, the line is just one of the 3 projects that Saudi Arabia are working on, which of course I'll be making separate videos about. And while there's no official release date for when this could be complete, the line is a large part of the country's Vision 2030 program. So the question is this somewhere you would want to live?
All right. We told y'all this was coming. Yo, I hate when I tell people stuff and my words fall on deaf ears, because a lot of times I give people gold. We told y'all about the electric cities. We told you what was going to happen. Go back and watch Judge Dredd that came out in 1994, whatever year in the 90s it came out. Go watch Judge Dredd. This is the exact same idea. They have a city pretty much that's inside of like a dome type of deal, and people are afraid to go outside of the city. And my theory as to why they got a mirror, it might be a situation where you got a whole nother let's say 300 years down the road, you got people that grew up inside the dome, and you got a situation where everybody thinks that that's it. There's nothing outside of that. You know what I mean? This is just theoretically, because it's possible, man. And you got a whole city being run by flying cars and such. You know, the technology's been there forever. Just ask yourself a question: why are they waiting until now to put it out? Then you got everything you need is going to be on floors. Now, here's the thing: even in societies like that, there's still going to be 3 different classes. They're going to be the poor, the middle, and the upper class. If you look at Judge Dredd, on the top floor was where the rich people live. All the top condos and stuff like that. You know, the taxis that took you from one end to another. Everything you need for your class is on the same floor, the top floor. The middle class, you know what I mean? They still might have had to go down to the through the poor class every once and again. But the upper class, the high class people, they had flying cars. They had to do that. You know, so you had the middle class that had to go through with the poor class, where the poor class was on the bottom. So goddamn middle class was looking like lunch meat when they came through, to go up to the upper class or whatever. But this is literally what we discussed. Literally what we discussed. You know what I mean? What we got here? I remember scrubbing the apple and other fruits and vegetables as a kid for that reason. Yeah, man. Democracy Now! Did the report. I think one was in Mississippi and the other was Indiana. I think the oil matters too. What are you talking about? The report? What you mean? The wax might be neem. Neem contains as a directant, as a directant with a natural pesticide or fungicide. Yeah, I bet it does. Judge Dredd, Gattaca Planets, and Stargate SG-51. I do remember Stargate SG-51. But yeah, and it was like a situation where you had the enforcers, or they called them the law basically, and they just enforced these statutes. But there wasn't no natural law because they were living inside of a an artificial electric city. So there was no natural law, any of that stuff. There was no natural rights. It was only what the city basically said the law was. And it turned out the city was corrupt, and this guy was enforcing laws that was corrupt. And that's what ended up happening. He ended up getting put on. I don't want to tell you the whole story if you haven't seen it, even though it's been goddamn 20 years. You should have seen Judge Dredd, the first one in the 90s by now. But all good. Democracy Now! Did the prison fried. Okay, the prison fried food report. I gotta look at that. Democracy Now! Interesting. Yeah, that's insane, bro. They literally coming out with electric cities, and then they had the nerve to put New York inside of Electric City and show them how it would look. So, I mean, it could possibly be a scenario where, let's say, for instance, there's a scenario where they take their people. Too many people rise up and say, you know what, we don't want to be under your jurisdiction because y'all making unjust laws, or the politicians get nervous and they all get inside the city and they're like, all right, you know what, whatever, y'all can have natural law outside there. Because in Judge Dredd, if you remember, there was people on the outside, but they was living in shambles. They were living off the land because they had been so used to living a certain way, and when they got kicked to the outside, it was like a shock for them. But they were maintaining. But there was bandits and all that other stuff outside the city. That's another reason people were afraid to leave the city. But yeah, man, 100%. So how y'all feel about that? Would y'all be willing to live in one of them electric cities? Because I tell you what, you move in an electric city, whatever laws or whatever statutes they create, that's what it is, and they're gonna have them enforced by robots. Ain't gonna be no man or woman enforcing that. That's gonna be enforced by robots. How much of a plus would that be? Now, I'm getting stonewalled hard out here, bro. Look at the usually around this time I got like probably 20 people watching. How many of you got the notification I was going live? I'm getting stonewalled ridiculous by YouTube. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm getting super stonewalled by YouTube. There usually be 20 people in here by now. We got 9 people. Well, thank you all 9 of you guys for coming out. But I'm just telling you, I've gotten reports also that they don't give people the live notification when I go live. Y'all supposed to, if you have the bell click, it's supposed to notify you that I'm going live, but they don't. They be on some BS sometimes, man. I'm telling you. Prof said I would, but only if I built it. Facts. Like, yo, facts, man. Only if you built that type thing. Because, bro, I'm telling you, shit would get ugly in a hurry. I mean, it's ugly without the damn electric city. You can imagine how crazy it'd be with it. All right, take a look at this guy. I always thought this dude was a weirdo. But listen to what Neil deGrasse Tyson says about space.
Got to get this off my chest. Like now, when people say they want to go into space, what do they typically mean by that?
I mean, I'm going to be an astronaut. I'm going into space, man. I'm going up there.
Up there, and generally they mean they want to go into orbit.
Excuse me. The did you just say?
Right. Anyone who's ever been in space.
They don't mean that. They want to go to space, man.
Well, okay. If that's the case, do you know how many people have left low Earth orbit?
Well, first of all, you are going to have to define low Earth orbit for me.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Because
I'll say it another way. All right, the Apollo astronauts,
okay,
that left Earth,
right,
to go to the moon.
All right,
okay,
and that's space.
Okay, wait a minute. So those are the only people who have ever left Earth for a destination. Every other astronaut, hundreds of them, are called astronauts, and we still say they went into space. And what that means is they went into low Earth orbit.
Oh, that's just awful.
And so low Earth orbit is, in practice, where the space station is. It's about a couple hundred miles up. So the distance from Earth's surface to the space station is less than the distance from New York City to Washington, D.C.
Oh, God, why are you depressing me like this?
I'm just trying to be honest about
this. This is awful.
He said, what? He said the distance from Earth to the nearest space station is less than the distance from New York to Washington, D.C. Yo. And this is a guy that called flat earthers retarded for the longest time and said it was stupid, this, that, and the third. And now Yo came out and said that. Now don't forget, back in 2018, them scientists actually came out and said that moon is inside the Earth's orbit too. So they slowly starting to put the pieces out there, like piece by piece by piece. They dropping the pieces, and the masses still don't even know about the 2018 thing about the moon. They still don't know because they don't care. They too busy looking at Kanye West or Kim Kardashian or whoever she just broke up with. That was Pete Carroll. I said Pete Carroll. Pete Davidson, whatever the hell that guy's name. I don't even know what his name is. But yeah, that whole scenario, they too busy looking at that. But people ain't paying attention. Stuff like this is slowly starting to come out, bro. It's slowly coming out. I honestly think how dumbed down society is now. If they came out and say, yeah, it's flat, people wouldn't even give a shit. They would be like, oh, whatever. Whatever. Excuse me, sir? Just a few years ago, you were saying we was insane when we was telling you that. But now it's whatever. You know? That's insane, though. But yeah, the pieces are slowly starting to come out. You just got to keep your ears open. The pieces will come out eventually 100%, and the truth will be revealed. I haven't watched this video right here yet. Somebody sent me this. One of you guys sent me this. Take a look at this real quick.
Alexa, enable Third Eye.
Okay, here's Third Eye by Third Eye Technologies. My third eye is open. Ask me your question.
Who controls the United States government?
According to the CIA, the government is controlled by the reptilians.
We create a new world order.
Alexa, enable Third Eye.
Okay, here's Third Eye by Third Eye Technologies. My third eye is open. Ask me your question.
Is Joe Biden starting a new world order?
The cartoons are true. A new world order will commence.
I fucking told y'all, man.
Is the government listening through your device?
Listening devices are part of our plan to abolish privacy, which is essential for the creation of a new world order.
Okay. I was sent that video by one of my followers. But yeah, we already knew what time it was with the Alexa, and I mean, come on, the Siri. We already knew what's up. Don't act surprised. Don't act like this is news. We knew about this since 2013 or 14, whenever it came out. We already knew what was up. All right, so let's not act like we don't know what page all of that stuff is on and what the goal is there, right? We already know. We already know all that. Macanon, what up? He said, hold up, what? Yeah, you heard right. He said just that Alexa said that. You know, this is why I said, man, these devices people use, they're a big they're convenience because you can like ask something real quick instead of picking your phone up. Like, let's say you cooking or something like that, and you don't remember how much salt goes in whatever meal you making, and you can say, yo, Alexa, such and such and such, and it'll give you the answer without you having to go over there and get your phone and, you know, get busy. But that convenience comes with a price. The price is some of your privacy and your freedom. And the more you give that up, there we go. Goofball out of here. The more you give that up. Oh shit. I didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to. My bad, Macadon. I think I hit you. You got collateral damage fire, man. I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to get that damn bot out of here. I accidentally lit you up too. My bad, Macadon. Didn't mean to do that, bro. But anyway, so yeah, what I was saying was, yeah, that whole situation, you know, some of your freedom of privacy is changed over for convenience. That's how it works. That's how it works. 100%. Never happened as long as that's facts. 100%. That's 100%. But that's the goal, is to get people to give that up. You know what I mean? And you can see it all in the news and all. And they know, they know we know, but it's the people who don't quite comprehend what's happening, who they're pulling at their heartstrings the hardest. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a stalemate because we already know what time they on, and the other ones don't quite know. But they got to get a majority of us. And I had to say, even people that aren't 100% sure what's going on, a lot of people are against, giving up their right to defend. Whose process did you do to get your state national status? I didn't do a state national status per se. The deep state is dead, patriots in control. I heard the same thing too. I kind of believe that, man. Looking at the way things are starting to move with these rulings and stuff with the Supreme Court and how the direction everything is going, I kind of believe that though. I kind of believe that. I'm looking at the way the police force is moving. They're moving differently now, the whole 9 yards. And I think I do believe that there is a change happening. And I think it's a good thing, man, because you can't have one group of people in power forever. Which probably how it works. It's probably every so 100 years or something like that. The power flim-flams, because you just ask yourself a question: how does shit get this crazy? How do we get this far gone? You know what I mean? And it's death by 1,000 cuts. That first little piece of freedom people gave up, they noticed a minimal difference, and then they give up another and another and another and another. Pretty soon, 50 years later, they didn't stray so far from the founding documents, you don't even recognize it anymore. The republic's turned into a democracy. 100%. All right, let's continue, shall we? Let's dance, shall we? All right, this is virtual influencers. How many of you people have seen the virtual influencers? I think I've seen one. I always thought it was odd though. Like people are being influenced by a goddamn virtual influencer on like social media. Take a look at this.
Your question now. How many social media influencers do you follow? 10, 100? But how many of them are real? That might sound odd, but not in 2022. This is South Korean influencer Rosie. She has over 130,000 followers on Instagram. She posts photographs of her adventures around the world, sings, dances, models. Sounds like any other influencer. But she is not a real human. However, this digitally rendered being looks so human-like that you could almost mistake her for flesh and blood. Created by Seoul-based company City Studio X, Rosie was launched in 2020, and since then, this virtual influencer has pegged many brand deals and sponsorships. She has even participated in virtual fashion shows and released 2 singles. Entertainment companies in other countries are also increasingly invested in developing virtual talent. Perhaps the oldest and the biggest influencer on the list is Lu from Magalu, Brazil's biggest retailer, created in 2003 as the voice of an in-store salesperson. Lu first appeared on Magalu's YouTube channel in 2019, and as her influence grew, she became the brand spokesperson and helped the company build a fan base of 32 million across social media platforms. And then there is Michaela Sousa, better known as Little Michaela, a model living in Los Angeles. With that face, pretty freckles, hazel eyes, and a mini fringe with 2 buns, she is an avatar created entirely via a computer program. This digital influencer shares her opinion on transgender rights, feminism, and the Black Lives Matter movement with her 1.5 million followers on Instagram. And in India, too, the trend is catching on. Meet Kyra, who is believed to be the country's first virtual and meta influencer. Created by a social media platform called Top Social India, the avatar of a 22-year-old woman from Delhi has nearly 100,000 followers on Instagram. The digital influencer industry is clearly evolving rapidly. Although the concept originated in Japan, these digital avatars are possibly the most popular in China. It makes for big business. According to research from iMedia, a consultancy, China's virtual idol market was estimated to be worth nearly $16 was estimated to be worth nearly $16 billion in 2021. Among the most famous virtual idols is Luo Tianyi, a pop singer with over 5 million followers on China's social media site Weibo. Virtual influencers can be used to promote a range of products and are in high demand because they help brands reach younger consumers. It's difficult to tell them apart from actual people. Clearly, social media is set to get even more unreal.
All right, I'm going to cut it off right there because there's a song that comes on at the end. So, not only do they have influencers who are bought and paid for, they also have now CGI influencers. CGI influencers, all right? Influencers that don't even damn exist now. I mean, the ones who are paid for by certain corporations and stuff, or who are daughters of celebrities or sons of celebrities, they barely exist either. But these right here don't exist at all. And they got over 100,000 subscribers each, 200,000 subscribers. You know what I mean? That's almost 1 million subscribers for all of those. And it begs the question, like, dude, and these you can, if you look at them, you can still tell that they're not like real. They look like CGI if you really, really look at them. But yo, at what point with this technology going the way it does, at what point will you not be able to tell the difference at all? You know what I mean? An argument can be made already that this might be what we see on TV. You might already be in a situation where we can't tell the difference with the ones that are on TV. But now they're using them for influencers. That's crazy to me, man. Potion even said the globalist world government is dead. Putin. Got you. Yes, I did. I actually did. I actually did the passport. I'm a advocate for the secure party process, also the UCC one, along with the statements, and also the injunctions. Pretty powerful too. I recommend looking into those three. Those seem to be the most three powerful ones that work. That's why I don't have any of those accounts. It's a groupthink on steroids. I agree. It's retarded, dude. And like, they actually have like these things. I'm not sure if they're AIs or if somebody's putting the words in their mouth for them to say. I'm not sure how that works. But yo, it with the technology the way it is, they literally could create an AI out of these things and have them just doing their own thing, posting whenever they want to. Like, yo, that is people don't see how crazy. That's insane. Literally. Groupthink on steroids. That's a great way to put it. 1,000%. Yeah, man. And shit, it's already caught wildfire in places like on the east side, man. Just imagine how much longer is it gonna take till something like that catches fire here? Because it will catch fire. If anybody remembers the Gangnam Style song and a lot of other foreign songs that get real popular overseas, they seem to make their way over here. And if there's money to be made somehow or money to be saved, oh, you best believe they'll get down with it. 1,000%. They will get down. All right, I got some entertainment for you guys. All right, so everybody kick your feet up. This video is now, it's only going to be about 4 minutes, 30 seconds long. So kick your feet up, relax, and enjoy this video. All right, take a look at this.
ATF agents out to confiscate an F, and the civilian doesn't know who he is, so calls 911. The local police show up, and this happens.
See your hands. I need to see some ID. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now. Get on the ground. What's your deal? Get on the ground now.
I'm a federal agent.
917-110-3. We got a call that someone's impersonating a police officer out here. Doesn't have ID.
No kidding, because she doesn't want to open it.
Okay, get on the ground so I can find out who you are.
It ain't happening. Okay.
Get on the ground.
Face down now.
Now.
Face down. You guys are making a big mistake.
You are the one making the mistake.
Face down now. All the way down. All the way. All the way.
Moron. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. Don't do this. Wait a second. I got a medical condition. Sir, please. Yo, get your taser out. My taser. Get your taser out, Joe. No, don't do that, please. Don't make me tase you. You can breathe just fine. Ow, don't do that. Okay. Here. Get him cuffed. Get him cuffed. It is cuffed. You know if you have interaction with the police, you obey commands. Sir, I was trying to. No, you didn't obey the command. Sir, I'm with you guys for sake. I'm a federal agent. This is crazy. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Sir, I'm not trying to be ashamed of myself. I just wish you'd say, let me see. Get in the car. Get in the car. Guys, please, just talk to me for 1 second, please. Get in the car. No, we'll talk later. Sir, wait. You had your chance. No, I was trying to give you my creds. You didn't let me show them to you. Never once tried. Sir, please, call an ambulance. I'm asking for an ambulance. You got a medic coming. Get in the car. Sir, I don't need the medic. The taser didn't bother me. You just said call an ambulance. If you don't. Yeah, now you don't want one. Get in the car. Why would you act like this? I didn't act anyway.
Now, apparently that ATF agent has sued the Columbus Police Department for this interaction, but there may be something more to this, because apparently 5 years earlier, this same agent was arrested nearby for stealing $200 of wine. Now, I simply don't like anything about this interaction. Just look at the Columbus police officer's reasoning here.
No, I was trying to give you my creds. You didn't let me show them to you. Never once tried.
When this is how it started.
See your hands. I need to see some ID. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now.
So in order, it goes, show me your ID, okay, he's reaching, get on the ground, to, well, why didn't you show me your ID in the start? But it is interesting to see law enforcement agencies have random encounters in the wild. It's almost like when you have two animals that believe they're the apex predators cross paths in the wild. Just look at this incident in Georgia when the sheriff jumps in on a police officer's traffic stop.
Go pull the video at Valero. You get on my traffic stop again, I will arrest you.
Yeah, I'll arrest you. What charges?
Do it.
You're ignorant.
Do it, Erd.
Go for it.
Do it.
Shut your mouth.
You don't talk to me like that. I'm not your boy.
Talk to you, boy. You a boy.
Thank you.
Yeah, a jaguar is usually going to think they call the shots, but if he randomly comes across a polar bear, it's going to break his mind. But we still have dense people online saying, oh, I thought you liked cops, or I guess you only like them when certain people are in office. It's like these people can't understand nuance. Good cops are good, and bad cops are bad. And it's all because they've been programmed to think you can't call one individual a criminal.
All right, so if I see people in the comment section that probably don't see what's going on. All right, so look, the dude that was at the he was at the lady's door, and she wouldn't open the door. He was an ATF agent, and if y'all don't know, when they come to take your shit out your house, it's the ATF agents that come from the feds to come get your arms or whatever. So I think they were coming to ask her questions about some arms, which a few people have reported. U.S. citizens, of course, have reported that there's been increasage of ATF going to people's houses about, multiple purchases of arms and stuff like that. So, yeah, this was an ATF agent, a federal agent who went to a lady's house. She wouldn't open the door, and she thought that he was a fake police officer. So she called the state police. And what you just saw was a clash between the federal and the state. And it's funny as hell because, like, these dudes got some crazy egos, all right? And we always thought they was always working together to take it up your rear end or whatever. But the bottom line is this: they all treat each other like that. Because if you look at the other stop, that dude actually was yelling at the sheriff and the police officer. They was threatening to arrest each other. And then last week we just saw the lady who had stopped the cat. I think it was the captain. He might have been a lieutenant or something. But he was like jacking the guy up, and she went over there to pull him off, and he grabbed her by the throat. So I'm like, yo, their egos they're starting to eat each other alive, and it's just interesting to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's funny because we're not involved. You know what I mean? We just watch it, and it's hilarious. It's supposed to be, the blue wall, this, that, and the blue veil, whatever the hell they call it. But the bottom line is watching these people tear each other apart because there's an ego issue that's been ignored forever is interesting, because the problem's now gotten to the point where it's out of control. Because whenever you got two people on the same side giving friendly fire, there's a problem with the general. You know what I'm saying? Malfeasance, let's help him. Nah, F that. The way I see it is somebody who was infringing on somebody else's rights got their rights infringed upon. which is poetry. So yeah, I'm gonna let you have that one, Joel. But I'm good on that. Bill says, Sue, nah. It's applicable to. And he did sue the police force, though, Bill. Just so you do know, he did sue the police force. Apparently, is applicable to hang. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think that. I think they got qualified immunity though, because he refused to show him credentials. So I mean, they were kind of doing their job, they could say, and they got a call for somebody impersonating a police officer. So at that point, they were responding to a call, and the guy refused to show his credentials. So they was in the right, according to what they would say. So that I don't think that lawsuit's gonna go anywhere, man. It's applicable to hang for treason in front of the courthouse to this day. Yeah, I know, but good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? Anyone who wants my help with police abuse, just ask. Absolutely. Holler at my man Joe. He got your back on that. Scorpion stings himself. Facts. Cops work for a foreign corporation. They had no allegiance, I guess what you meant to say, to the people. That is true. That is very true. But if you think about it, though, the ATF is an agent. It's a private agency. So the same can be said for them. So what you just saw was two foreign agencies beating the shit out of each other. You literally just saw, like, oh, you were at in your backyard under your apple tree, relaxing, reading a book, and you just saw a Japanese dude and an Israeli dude beating the living shit out of each other, and out near your backyard, not on your property, but out near your backyard. Like, this doesn't concern me at all, but I'm gonna watch because it's hated as hell. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude. Unfortunately, in this country, the sheep are far too asleep and begin to understand the police forces are unconstitutional. Agreed. It's supposed to be a sheriff. It's supposed to be a sheriff, man. It ain't supposed to be no police are a private agency, dude. They're contracted. They're basically contractors. They're contracted by the U.S. corporation, pretty much, which is, well, under the umbrella of the U.S. corporation, with the state of whatever state you're in, pretty much contracted out to them. So, and the U.S. citizens are what they have jurisdiction over. But again, if you give a man a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So he don't understand jurisdiction any yet. He thinks if you're there standing in front of me, I got jurisdiction. And a lot of them don't know it's deeper than that. They don't learn that until they get like higher in ranks. That's why I be telling y'all, when y'all are here traveling and stuff like that, y'all need to be very wary of traveling after 9 p.m. Again, we're gonna harp back on the point of when a new guy starts a job, they get the shittiest hours. When a new guy starts a job, they get the graveyard shift. So if you just get a job at Amazon, or not Amazon, but like post office or something like that, you're going to be working the 7 p.m. to 7 p.m. schedule. You're going to be working nighttime. You're going to get home in the morning. You're going to be sleeping all day. All right, because you're the new guy. When you've been there 4 years and the senior, he goes ahead and retires, and then there's another guy who's ahead of you who was waiting to get that job or whatever like that, and his job frees up where he had better hours than you get in his spot. Now you got regular hours. You know what I'm saying? Now you're working from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or whatever like that, so on and so forth. You got another rookie who comes in and takes your spot, and he's working the graveyard shift now. So you seasoned, and now you got some time under your belt, but you get moved to the other side of the ship. That's why I be telling you guys, a lot of people who contact me for consultations, they don't get bothered during the day because those are the seasoned veterans. Now, you might run into a stupid motherfucker every once and again, which is possible, but for the most part, these guys have done and seen a lot of that stuff. They call it the SC word. I'm not going to use the oxymoron word we all believe and know this bullshit, but yeah, they pretty much call it that, but they know the shit is real because, you know, court battles have happened and they've lost. You know, maybe not necessarily them, but those stories exist. I showed you guys a video about a year ago where there was a guy who he pulled this one guy over, and the guy was like, I'm just traveling right now. So he ends up going back to his cruiser and calling for backup because that was what the protocol was, if somebody used that word. And then when the backup got there, they started talking about he was the SC word or whatever like that. And the one guy was like, I can't stand those motherfuckers. They're a pain in the ass, which is interesting because literally all he was doing was following the Constitution or whatever like that, following the case law, all that good stuff that, you know, is supposed to be the law of the land. So the original police officer who made the stop, he never encountered one guy. Like, so he tells the guy, yeah, I'm not going to give you any crap. Just if you're going to be around this area, if I see you, I'm not going to bother you, but you might get stopped again by another police officer. So he lets the guy go, and the guy's grateful, like, thank you so much, man. I'm glad. Thank you so much for upholding the Constitution. He said, no problem. He goes back to the other police officer who he was talking to. So he says, you let him go? He was like, yeah. He was like, man, I would have gave him hella tickets. And he was like, man, I heard a story about this other police officer who actually got tangled up with one of those SCs, and he got something happened where he got a lien put on him, and his house was in jeopardy, and his car was in jeopardy, and his credit was screwed up for like 10 years. He said, it almost makes me want to say, F that. I don't want to get involved with it. You can have it. It ain't worth it. You feel me? So that's why I tell you guys, when you out here exercising your right to travel and stuff like that, be wary about what time you out. Now, you can make the argument, yeah, we live in a free country, such and such. That's facts. And if you want, you can go for it. But just know, if you're not prepared to stand in front of a magistrate and protect your rights, like, you know what I mean? If you're going to be out there bearing arms and your state says you need a permit, of course, you're not a U.S. citizen, but they don't try to tell you the difference between that. The police officers damn sure don't know the difference. They just think every body in front of me, every physical body in front of me better have a permit if they carry it. You know, if you want to carry or whatever like that, you better know how to defend that shit, because you might end up in front of a magistrate. If you just get into this information and you don't know anything, and you end up in the wrong position in front of a magistrate and you don't know what to say, you are going to have a problem. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you got to go get a damn lawyer, because we all know the bar is pretty much not for the people. The bar is for the court system. So there you have it. Where we at? Straight entertainment. Yo, dude, I laughed my ass off. I almost fell out of my chair. I was laughing so hard at this. I was laughing hard, and that was hilarious to me. Any and all government policing forces of any kind are 100% unconstitutional. We have been conditioned to accept them as needed. Nah, I think the sheriffs are constitutional, if I'm not mistaken, though, right? I think the sheriffs are constitutional. But back then, in order to apprehend somebody, you would go to the sheriff and you would get what the hell is it called? You would go to the sheriff and you would get some kind of, I can't remember what the term is, but you would get the power to go arrest somebody. So what they would do is, if there was an outlaw somewhere, you would go to the sheriff's office, like let's say you and 3 friends, and you would get the power to be able to be like a sheriff's assistant or something like that, and go make an arrest and go bring him in. That's how it used to be back in the day. I think that was in the Constitution too, if I'm not mistaken. I should know this, but I don't know don't quote me on that. Cops are under the United Nations. Yes, police officers are under the United Nations. Think about it like this. All right, the United States Corporation is a trust. That's all it really is. It's a trust. Trusts can have subsidiary businesses and agencies underneath them. All right, so if you have, let's say, like the United States Corporation is the trust, and then you got like the state of Florida, right? That's a subsidiary of the United States Corporation, which is like, you could call it a corporation or whatever, or it could be seen as another trust, right? And then you got the police officers and the fire department, all these agencies, they're subsidiaries for the state of Florida, whatever. They're pretty much underneath, which are under that corporate umbrella. You see what I'm saying? So when you really trace it back up, their contract roots back to the United States Corporation, which is under the United Nations. So yes, that is 100% facts, and that's under the Vatican. So yes, there's a spider web. You know what I mean? But yeah, very unconstitutional, because they're foreigners. They're not even of this land. The sheriff initially had absolutely no arresting powers. It was left up to the people of the community. Right, the people of the community. Right. Okay. Yeah, people of the community. Laziness has made it what it is today. Is that what it was? I knew for a fact the sheriff had the ability to appoint people to go make arrests. I remember that. I read that before. The sheriff was only a mediator between the people and the community based on common law, of course. That was all the sheriff was to do. Okay. What up, Zakiba? Good to see you, man. Good conversation we had the other day. Matter of fact, I think that was yesterday, right? The sheriff is no longer there for we the people. They were kidnapped into the U.S. corporation also. They are paid and also founded by the corporation. All of them are. All of them are. If you read the duties of a sheriff, like go right on the website and read the duties of a sheriff. Like you go to your state of whatever city you're in or whatever state of website and look at the sheriff. Look at the duties of a sheriff. It's very interesting. Like it specifically says that they're there to uphold the Constitution. But I mean, shit, the police officers took the same. They took the same oath. They're supposed to uphold the state constitution and the Constitution for the United States of America. Very rarely do they do either. Most of the time, they uphold the corporation. You know, the state of. They uphold the corporation. They pretty much follow the bylaws of the corporation, which are basically the statutes. Statutes and all that are nothing but bylaws for corporation. Whenever you have a corporation, they have what's called bylaws, or technically you can call it its own constitution. So certain laws and even trusts have these. Like if you were to create a trust, all right. So have you ever heard of like a family that has a trust set up? They call them trust fund babies, and then you might have a girl. Let's say, for instance, you have a girl who likes a boy, but she's not supposed to be talking to him. So you might have the family say, you know, you're disowned or something like that. We're cutting you out of the will of the trust or something. Those bylaws and stuff like that, or the Constitution, so to speak, are pretty much the trust like rules or such. So it might be in there that you can only marry someone that we appoint for you to marry. This is how partly how arranged marriages work. You know, in those other countries where these arranged marriages are, the trust might not necessarily be on paper, but it's a spoken trust. Trust, and that's another misconception. Trust don't necessarily have to be on paper. Trust can be an agreement between people. So if you got 5 people on the same page that agree to do something and move in unison, that could also be construed as a trust too. Trust don't always have to be on paper. Now, if you're dealing with corporations and stuff like that, they need to be. You know, if you got to go to court or something, they need to be on paper. But trust necessarily don't have to be on paper. So if that's the said laws of the trust and somebody violates, the stipulation for the trust could be to cut them out. And that's why you hear about families disowning children and stuff like that, because there's a fortune that's supposed to be in place. And when those children start acting out of pocket as the beneficiaries, they can get cut from the trust. This is fact. This was in The Secret of Wills and Trust, man. This is a very interesting book. So if you got like a let's say you got like a living trust or something like that, or any other kind of trust, and you got the beneficiary set as the children. Them children grow up and start doing all kinds of wild shit. You know what I mean? All over the place, disgracing the family name or something like that. You could have a stipulation in there that they're out of the trust pretty much. Freedom Inc. mobs grabbing innocent people and executing justice before a sheriff could show up. Okay, that's what it was. Shooting people, killing people without fair trial. Excuse me. But yeah, shooting people and stuff like that without fair trial. That makes sense. He's allergies kicking my ass today. Interesting, because I haven't had allergies no other time throughout the whole entire year. But today, for some reason, today is the day. That has something to do with the implementation of professionals with arrest powers. Man, but let's be honest, Prof. What's the difference? Because you got mofos that's supposed to be professionals that do the same thing. You know what I mean? Crazy. Be right back. Hold on. All right, I'm back. My bad. Yeah, allergies bother me a little bit. We're gonna make it. We gonna make it. All right. So yeah, that makes sense though. People getting angry and stuff like that. But you know what's interesting? If that were the case, it could be a situation where those people's emotional triggers were triggered by secret organizations to implement certain plans. So again, a good way to get people to give up their rights is to pull at their emotional strings. So if you get people to start acting illogically, they'll give up their freedom. So let's say there was some kind of trickery. to get people to be emotional about something. And people are like, you know what? No, we need professionals because y'all are too emotional and y'all don't uphold your end of the bargain. You're supposed to arrest them and bring them in front of a magistrate or bring them in front of a judge. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to just be executing people. You're not the judge, jury, you know. And now you got people voting to put professionals in. And now that power has been stripped. And now you got a foreign agency coming in. You see what I'm saying? It's easy to manipulate. Your police are part of the municipalities, and the municipality is owned by the Pope. Yes, sir. The Vatican. All comes back to the Vatican. The Pope would be the people would be deputized. The sheriff had no arresting powers. A government that can arrest can enslave. A man's got he got a point. He got a point. He has a very sharp point right there. Sheriffs are under contracts. Yeah, facts. I withdrew from property taxes and they just ignored me. I notified the sheriff and he ignored me also. That's how they do, man. That's how they do. They all work for the same corporation, son. That's what I'm saying, bro. Operating like rats and only care about their cheese. I agree. 1,000%. We all on the same page with that. You know what I mean? But yeah. Back in the day, dude, like the men, you would take 3 men who would go armed, they'd bring their arms, and they would go, arrest somebody and bring them back for trial. And here's the thing. Check this out, right? And you get arrested, they supposed to take you straight to a magistrate. They're not supposed to take you back to booking. When you get arrested, you're supposed to go straight to a magistrate. They're not supposed to take you to any jail cell because it clearly says you got the right to a speedy trial. You're supposed to go straight in front of a magistrate. A lot of times they try to say, oh, the magistrate's sleeping right now. Bullshit. Wake his ass the fuck up. Wake him up then. To say, how do y'all get warrants at 4 o'clock in the morning to go raid somebody's shit? You see what I'm saying? Exactly. You got to call the magistrate and wake his ass up out of bed. He got to stroke a pen or whatever or give some authority. And then boom, that's where you get your authority to get a warrant to go do some sideways shit. You feel me? But yeah, you're supposed to go straight to a magistrate. You ain't supposed to go to a booking. The police officers take you to booking so they can get paid. It's called processing. They process the ends legis account in order to make withdrawals from the all caps name, from the sister KB trust, so the police force can get paid. That's how it works. Power is the ability to define phenomena and make an act in design manner. Huey P. Newton. Shit, I go as far as to say power is the ability to reward and punish. That's what I would say. Power is the ability to reward and or punish. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like, honestly. All right, let's move. What we got? What's next? That video was entertaining, though, wasn't it? All right, look. I'm going to give y'all this piece of information. Grab a pen and paper because I'm going to drop some gold on y'all today, all right? I'm going to drop on y'all some gold. So, boom, here we go. So, when y'all filling out these papers, right, y'all doing business with these corporations, stop letting these corporations know where you lay your head at, all right? Stop giving corporations your address. All right, so what you can rock is, I went ahead and looked at this right here. I went on the USPS website, and I looked up rural free delivery just to get a closer insight on what they had to say about it. What popped up was general delivery, which is a very interesting stand-in substitute. Take a look at this. General delivery is a mail service for those without a permanent address, often used as a temporary mailing address. All right. Now, people use this as a temporary mailing address because if they're in between houses or something like that, or they're not going to be home while stuff's being moved around, they might put their stuff at a post office and go pick it up later. But if you know, like we know, you don't have a permanent address anyway because you're not a legal fiction. And if you're not a legal fiction, you shouldn't be putting any address down to any storage unit or house or anything you want to call it. So check this out. General delivery is a mail service for those without a permanent address, often used as a temporary mailing service. General delivery is a mail service for those without a permanent address. Okay, it repeats itself. Post office locations without city carrier delivery service, non-city delivery offices for those who prefer not to use post office box service, and for whom use of post office box caller service or delivery by letter carrier would be an unreasonable convenience. A participating post office to serve transients, people who travel extensively. And listen, do you get in your car or your automobile and do you travel from one area to another? Because I know I do. I travel a lot. I travel all the damn time. So if you travel a lot, this is this is for you. Let's be honest here. All right, read what it says and use it accordingly. People who travel extensively. I travel every day. To those without a permanent address, anyone who wants the post office box when post office boxes are unavailable. So a lot of you guys know if you go to put PO box on some things, they'll reject it. Like, yo, no, you can't put PO box here. You got to put such and such. You got to put an address. You can't use a PO box. Well, here's the thing. All right, you can rock out with this, and this is how you do it. All right, you would use the Legis name or your regular name or what have you. And then you will put general delivery right there in the middle for the city and state. Just put general delivery, and then you drop the city, state, and then the zip, right? But here's a little hack. If you actually look up the address for the post office, which every post office has an address, right? You could put general delivery first, and then you can put the colon. That's kind of like in care of general delivery, but you can put general delivery colon, and you can put the address for the post office. And when they send the mail out, you can go pick your mail up at the post office with a passport. What are the restrictions on the use for delivery service? General delivery is normally available at one facility under administration, the post office, or multiple facilities. A postmaster may authorize more than one facility to offer general delivery service in accordance with customer and operational needs. A customer may use only one such location. All right. Postmasters may restrict the use of general delivery if a customer cannot present suitable identification, has mail value or service that cannot be reasonably accommodated. So if you're ordering 30, if you got like 30 envelopes coming a week, you know what I mean? If it just gets to be too much and they can't, put that in a corner where it won't get in the way, they're gonna say, nah, bro, you got to get a postal PO box. You gotta get a PO box. So don't be an ass. You know what I mean? Pick your mail up. Don't let it accumulate. Don't let it get in the way. Be responsible about your stuff if that's how you want to rock. If you wish to pick your mail up before regular delivery occurs, we suggest that you purchase a post office box for a nominal fee. All right, now you can go right on your website in your nearest post office, and you can find out exactly, if they offer general delivery, which most probably do, I can imagine. But yeah, yep, pick yourself up some stamps while you're there. But yeah, general delivery is the business, man. Definitely. So hey, get with the move. The rural free delivery is dope too. Now, there's another thing that I actually found out. Let me see if I can find this real quick. There's another thing I found out too. If you want to get real, if you want to get technical. I'm gonna shout out to Fearless Floyd for this because I actually learned this from Fearless Floyd. All right, now let me show you this little page right here. All right, so this is how you find the rural route for wherever you live at. All right. So let's get an example. Let's get an example. All right. Let's look up. All right, so let's look up an address for Arundel Mills Mall, right? Arundel Mills Mall is a really nice mall out in Maryland. A lot of people go to. All right, so the address would be 7,000. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Arundel Mills Circle. Okay, and we want to do. We can do Maryland. And you can put the zip in too. And we hit find real quick. All right, now check this out right here. All right, now when you go down, try to find it. Hold on. Yeah, here you go. You can go down right here. Whoa. What is going on here? Why didn't it come up? Here we go. All right, so when you go down and you click the arrow and you drop it down, it'll actually have like the rural route. Why is it not popping up here? This one has carrier route. So this would have rural route. All right, so carrier route would be on this one would be R008. And then the county's right there too, and then it would have the delivery point code. So the way you would put it would be rural free or rural route, and then you would put the carrier route, which is R008, and then the county would be Anne Arundel or whatever, and then the delivery point code would go after the carrier route. So you would put it like that. And then as far as the zip, you could actually leave the zip blank too, because they was able to deliver mail back then way before there was any zip codes that were established. You could leave the zip code off and they would still get the mail. They'll still do it today. If you got like an address, you want to send something somewhere and you mess up the zip code or something like that, or you leave the zip code off, they'll still deliver it. You know, they'll still deliver it. So we get a leader for everyone to stand behind and all stop paying taxes. This criminal activity will continue. Yeah. What up, Thirst? What's good with you? If anyone wants a physical address, I don't contract. There you go. Exact. There's another way you can do it, you know. But yeah, so to look that up, you basically do those steps, and the Fearless Fluid actually showed me how to do that. So shouts out to Fearless Fluid. Shout out to Fearless Fluid. All right, where we at? Let's move on, shall we? All right, I got some more information for you. Now take a look. Somebody sent me this, and they were asking, would this be applicable? Pretty much, and technically, I would say maybe. Honestly, it's hard for me to say. This here is a D4A certificate of non-residence in the District of Columbia, right? Now, this basically is stating that you do not live in Washington, D.C. And we all know what the reasons for that would be, honestly. You basically fill this bad boy out right here. It says in the instructions, if you're not a resident of D.C., you must file Form D4A with your employer to establish that you are not subject to DC income tax withholding. You qualify as a non-resident if your permanent residence is outside DC during all the tax year and you not reside in DC for 183 days or more than the tax year. If you're a service member spouse, employees who are residents of DC should do D4 form, DC withholding allowing certificate. And we can see why that would be effective. So I would say there's easier ways to do it, though. I honestly would say that probably the W4V might be an easier way to go about it. So decide for yourself, man. The form is called D4A, Certificate of Non-Residence in the District of Columbia. You can look that up yourself. Very interesting stuff, though, I'd say. All right, let's move on. Man, that was one I wanted to show you guys about a lawsuit. Hold on, I gotta find it. Here we go. All right, look, check this out. All right, find out if you're eligible for part of the $90 million Facebook data tracking settlement. Facebook users have until September to see if they're eligible for a payout. All right, you remember the trial between what's his name? Zuckerberg and I think it was Congress or something like that, but he basically was on trial pretty much because of tracking and privacy invasion people were complaining about. Facebook has agreed to a $90 million settlement stemming from a lawsuit accusing it of tracking users across other websites, and now people can file claims that they believe they were impacted. The plaintiffs in the case, Davis versus Facebook, claimed the social media giant was aware it violated policy, communications, and wiretap laws, tracking logged out users in breach of its own contract. In 2020, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals determined that Facebook profiting from the sale of users' data constituted a breach of privacy that caused economic harm. When the Supreme Court declined to review the case, the settlement negotiations began. In June, the District Court in California gave preliminary approval for the $90 million payout. Read on to find out what the class action lawsuit is all about, whether you're eligible for a payout, and how much recipients could receive and when. So let's be honest here, you might actually get like $250 because there's gonna be so many people applying. Well, maybe not. There's gonna be some people applying though, definitely. But you might not get that much for $90 million settlement. That's going to get ate up out of more people asking for it. You know what I mean? But if you do desire to know if you're affected or if you can get a payout, take a look into that. This is where you start. I will go right to checking out the website for it. So it'd be hold on, let me try to see if I can find it. Claim site. Here we go. Claim sites. This is on cnet.com. So if you want the hyperlink, you can go right to cnet.com and type that information in, Facebook settlement, and then you can click claim site, and you can go ahead and check for see if you can get a payment on that. You know, shit, every bit helps, right? Especially with these damn gas prices the way they are. When I lived in Costa Rica, I never put the zip code in all my mail got to my lady, my girlfriend. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. David Strait says that a passport is not enough to have state national status. What's your opinion on that? Yeah, I think it's multiple things. It's not just that. It's also a way you live. It's also a language you use. You know what I mean? I've seen U.S. citizens get busy with the law and knowing how to talk. But yeah, I would say a combination. I would say the passport is one way. Secure party is another way. The injunction is really powerful too. I've heard about the state national process too, where you use different documents from the 1900s to fill out and sign with witnesses and things like that. There's different ways to get busy. Let's be honest, but the supreme way to get busy is knowing the law. That is the best way to get busy. You know, you gotta have your paperwork right, but if you don't know the law, you a sitting duck. You acting like a U.S. citizen. If you don't know the law, you literally are acting like a U.S. citizen, and will be treated as such. You know what I mean? You take a U.S. citizen that knows the law, he can get busy a lot more than a national that don't know the law. You know, the knowledge is key, man. You got to know what you're doing. A6 only got 3 stars on my passport. How can I get the 5 stars? Hit me up privately, man. Hit me up privately. Hit me up privately. What you're suffering from is capitis minutio, I think is what it's called. Education. Facts. The education is important, man. You got to hit the books. You got to read. You know, you can't, it ain't no shortcut to this shit, man. We already know it. Ain't no shortcut to it. The reason why we got in that situation in the first place is because we weren't doing our due diligence. We wanted to go out and party. We wanted to smoke weed and hang out, smoke hookah and bang chicks and all that stuff. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to watch goddamn Walking Dead and all that. We didn't do our research. And as a result, it came back on us. Luckily, a lot of us have been awakened, but you know, that's the best thing I've ever heard you say. You're a U.S. citizen. Hey, if you don't know what you're talking about, you will be treated as such. And don't bite off more than you can chew. You know, deal with what you can deal with. Don't try to just jump out there and do right to travel if you don't even know, what the right to travel is, what lingo to use. Like I've literally seen people say, I'm traveling, then get grilled by police, and then end up giving a long explanation. So I was driving up this road and I saw you. Like, oh, you was driving, huh? Bet. You already admitted you was driving. Now you got to deal with this shit. You know what I mean? Because at that point, you didn't admitted that you were operating in commerce. And if you didn't, you're lying, which is still a dishonor. You know what I'm saying? That's why when y'all saw me get hemmed up and shit like that the first time, dude had to respect what I was saying because one, I said very little. Two, my demeanor was not aggressive and I was very assertive on what I was saying. You know what I mean? Minimal words, but very powerful words. And then 3, I knew what I was talking about. And he knew I knew what I was talking about. That's why he kept running back to his cruiser and getting on his little walkie-talkie. You know, that's why. He was asking his superior, like, what do I do with this guy? And they probably were like, yeah, see, you know, it like sounds like one of them SCs. See if see if he knows what he's talking. This is what I try to avoid. There we go. Get this motherfucker out of here. But yeah, as far as that goes, yeah. I was like, I knew what I was talking about. I was very assertive. Got busy with it, you know. All right. Take a look at this. This is what I was telling you guys about when remember I was telling you guys about how the sky looked during the lockdowns. And the only, I swear, there are 2 good things about the lockdowns for the pandemic. It's bittersweet, bro. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it's bittersweet. All right. Here's why I say it. I know y'all think I sound crazy right now, but listen to hear me out, all right? Because I know y'all gonna feel me on this. The sky was the most beautiful I have ever seen. I've never, in all my years of living, I have never seen the sky that clear. It was gorgeous, man. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful blue. It was perfect, bro. Like the plants weren't working, people weren't out on the road like that. Yo, the sky was a clear, beautiful crystal blue. You know what I'm saying? And if you look from a distance, you can see all the way down the road. Now, here in Maryland, we got our smog is pretty, it's not like New York, but it's pretty bad. But yo, I'm telling you, man, the sky was so clear, it was amazing. And then when you just sit outside at night and look in the sky at all the beautiful stars, dude, it looked like a video game. It was just, the sky was completely littered with little twinkling stars. It was beautiful, man. It was calming. But when you look, and the sky was so clear, I was seeing stuff for the first time I'd never seen before. And believe me, I'm a guy that avidly looks in the sky and always have done all the time when I was living. I saw chemtrails the first time when I was like 8. First time I paid attention to them. So take a look at this right here. I actually saw something like this in the sky when the sky was clear. Look at this.
You see him?
There's like a vortex of orbs around us right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 3. Another one came up and greeted him.
Oh, we got two.
Yeah, I got him. There's 3. Another one went right through him.
Oh, there's one behind the 2.
Is there?
There's 2. 4.
Jeez.
1.
No, there's 4 in front. I got the 2 in front.
Oh, hold on. There's a 3rd one. Hold on. Is that? Oh my Lord. That's
Oh, wow.
Dude, there's like 15 of them coming right now.
Oh, God.
That might be. No.
That's Starlink.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, power up. Dude,
Oh, what?
They're powering up.
That's not Starlink.
That's definitely not Starlink.
That thing powered up.
They were all phasing like, ooh, it's powering up again. Yeah. Awesome.
Which one?
This one right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
How many are there?
There's a line of them. They're all powering up.
Shoot.
They're taking turns, but each one are. Whoa. Yeah.
I don't know which one to film.
There's a whole, my Lord. I got the majority of them.
Are they spinning?
Right here. Powering up right here.
Okay, I got this one.
Oh. Oh, dude. Dude, there's a whole fleet.
My God, they're all. You know what? That's not Starlink. Look, they're all powering. Another one's coming down.
Oh my Lord.
That's a freaking fleet.
Holy cow.
Look at all of them. That's not Starlink.
That's definitely not.
Look,
Starlink.
Another one coming down from the top.
Oh my God, dude, this is
Dude, this is a fleet.
What?
Look at all those.
Holy cow.
And they're not in a straight row.
Yeah, they're like side by side. They're not in straight line at all.
No.
They're powering up.
Oh, look at that. That one powered up.
They're powering up. All of them. What?
Oh, I'm getting pulse. My whole left side's pulsing.
Yeah.
And they're going, look, they're going down, they're going up.
Oh my God! Look,
This
there's
one's
double
going up.
Side by side.
There's
side
two
by
side by side. Oh my God,
They're
this is like,
everywhere.
whoa.
You called it. That.
There's two.
Ooh!
Two there.
Oh my Lord.
Oh my God, there two. What the heck? There are so many. I don't know which one to film.
I'm watching every single one of them. Every single one of them has
That
power.
one, yeah, that one just
Every
powered up.
single
There's
one.
two. Look at that. 3, 4, 5, 6,
What?
7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, that was
8,
like
11,
20 so
12.
far.
Wow. They're just,
Holy cow.
they're still coming.
Holy cow.
And they're going every direction. They're not,
What?
they're not in a straight line.
They're powering up everywhere. Oh my God. They're sitting side by side.
Look at that. Two together there, two there, two there, two
Yeah.
there, 3, 4,
Oh,
5.
Lord. This is
Oh my
crazy.
God, it's on.
What the heck?
It is on.
Whoa. Holy cow. I gotta call the kid. Call the kids out here. Hold on. See if I
Hey,
can.
where are they?
Is somebody going to do an investigation into Christianity?
Okay, so yeah, that's what I was telling you guys about. And dude, when I saw it was a straight line of it looked like it was traffic, honestly. Dude, it was crazy. It looked like it was traffic. Like it looked like straight traffic, just like you know how you would look at like let's say you were at the top of the Empire State Building, you would look down on New York City and look at the cars coming. It literally looked like it was traffic. It was crazy. Very interesting though, man. I thought it was cool. I couldn't take my eyes off. I watched it for like an hour. I was out there with my beard just watching. Pretty dope. Know your jurisdictions you're in. I'm learning the jurisdiction pretty good. There you go. What movie is this? I don't think this was a movie, hip hop. I think this was I think this actually happened. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, dude, literally saw it before. But I don't see it anymore though, man, because the sky's polluted and all that stuff. But it was dope, man. It was absolutely dope. Very cool. Yeah, he was saying they were powering up because it looked like they would get brighter after they hit a certain point when they kept going. Nice stuff though, man. When you really just sit back and just look in the sky and watch what's going on, dude, it's very relaxing. All right, last one. Last one. We're gonna cover Rolex. Take a look at this. All right, so you ask yourself, what kind of organization is Rolex, right? Is Rolex a nonprofit organization? Rolex is not like most other watch companies out there. In fact, the way Rolex conducts its business is a very different way. As Rolex slogan says, the Rolex way. You could say this applies to the way the company is run. When you think about the giant luxury corporations like Rolex, nonprofits is certainly not the first thing that comes to mind. But the fact of the matter is, yet Rolex is in fact a non-profit. But they say there's more to it than that. Rolex Watch Company, Rolex SA, is owned by Wildsorf Foundation. Hans Wildsorf is the founder of Rolex and established the foundation in 1945. The foundation was established to commemorate his wife Florence Frances May Wildsorf Crotty, who died in 1944. Hans Willdorf moved his 100% ownership of Rolex to the foundation in 1960. Since then, the Wilsdorf Foundation controls the Rolex watch company to this very day. So, what is a nonprofit organization? In Wikipedia's definition, a nonprofit organization, NPO, also known as a non-business entity, not-for-profit organization, or nonprofit institution, is an organization dedicated to furthering the particular social cause or advocating for shared point of view. In economic terms, is an organization using its surplus of the revenues to further achieve its ultimate objective rather than distributing its income to the organization's shareholders, leaders, and members. So what does Rolex do with all of its money? Today, Rolex donates large parts of its profits to charity and social causes. You can read about the Rolex charity efforts in Rolex.org. The areas Rolex focuses in are environment, science, and arts. With that said, being nonprofit does not mean the company has no interest in making money and seeing good numbers. However, it does allow what it does allow that sets Rolex apart from its competitors is the fact that it has no shareholders or investors who may have any say in how the company is run, but also sets a pressure to keep the stock price high and constantly increasing, as well as increasing sales and profits. All right, so y'all can finish reading this article if you want to on your own. But that is pretty much what it is. It is a nonprofit organization. And you already know what that means for the taxes. You already know, man. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yep. Yolanda said, wow. Yeah, exactly. Right. Hey, listen, bro. And the way these companies are set up, you shouldn't be saying these goddamn crooks, these pieces of shit. You shouldn't even be thinking like that. You should be saying scheme, plot. You feel me? The same way they operate, you can operate too. We'll leave it at that. All right, so now I'm going to open up the lines. If anybody wants to hop in, jump in the live, you can do so. About to wrap it up pretty soon. There is the link. So if you do so desire, that is the link for you to hop in. How can I do it? The first thing I would say is start looking at what kind of trust they have. If it's a nonprofit organization or whatever like that. You feel me? And here's the interesting thing about nonprofit organizations. They can accept donations and they're not taxable. The IRS can't stick their nose in it. It's literally in the rules. 501c3 trust, I think, and there's a nonprofit. If that's a nonprofit, 501c3, I think so. Look into that. There's also the what is it? Is it the ecclesiastical trust? I think it's one of those trusts, but it's basically like a church trust, pretty much. That's another one that's tax exempt. They don't even have to file taxes. You know, hey, the information is all out there. You know, you just got to know where to look. That's all it is. Ain't nothing really hidden. Information is all out there. Yeah, ecclesiastical is the church. Yep. But yeah, nonprofit, and these dudes still are allowed to make cheese. You know, there's no shareholders, so nobody can tell them how to run their stuff. But dude, it's a nonprofit, man. How can it be a nonprofit and they're making profit? Hey, my only answer to that is do the reading. Don't just listen to the name and take what you can get from the name. Do the reading, because at the end of the day, yeah, okay, 508C1A. I knew it was something like that. 508C1A is what it is. Yep, that's what it is. But yeah, do the reading, man. Don't just listen to the name and think you know everything. Do the reading. Read how it's ran. Read how they do theirs, and then you figure it out. You know, secrets is they secrets, but only the people that don't want to read. See what I'm saying? That's how they get people. People don't want to do the reading and don't want to do the learning. They just want somebody to tell them. But it's not always that simple. I filled my documents and submitted them for Regulation Z exemption on my mortgage. They said they will reply the 20th. Now I'm doing the same process with property taxes. Okay, nice. Let me know how that works out for you, man. Definitely let me know how that works out for you. All right, I think we hit all the points for the day. Got through everything. Let me move some of this stuff out. In the meantime, Rainwater was good. You late? I'm about to get off now. All good, all good. All right, great talking to you guys. Glad I can give you guys the information for tonight. I'm about to turn in, get some rest, and prepare for tomorrow. Got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. Very busy. Hopefully, it's not as hot as it was all this week. I should be able to get through it easily. If it's not, if so, I'll just have to suffer until the week is out. But thank you for tuning in, man. As usual, it's a pleasure talking to you guys. I will be here again next Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I'll also be trying to do a show on Tuesday too. Trying to get back in the mix with that, but the software is throwing me off. I really got to sit down and crack down. I'm doing too many things at once, so I got to really sit down and figure out how to mess with this software. But you already know what time it is. It is 8/6, the 4 National Born Natural. Thank you for tuning in. I will holler at you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, stay cool, and stay hydrated. Peace.